Welcome to this level 27 episode of Voodu Warlock 2023. Since the last episode, I did a few quest chains for favor, for the favor that I want, since this is a final life. So I did the Druid's chain and Evening Star that give me some Harper favor. And then after that, I did the High Road chain, also Harper favor. That's also an Evening Star. And then, and that was jumping ahead by a level. Could do that as high as 28 for maximum XP across the board. And then jumped ahead even further, doing the Wayloon chain. And that's also off of Evening Star. And I'm ready to take 28, but I wanted to do a 27 video before I did that. My gear, I've got a couple pieces of gear that, both of these definitely aren't essential, but I just wanted to show you a couple pieces of gear that you could wear at this level range if you like. And the first one is the Circle of Malevolence. This comes out of the Mark of Death raid. That's the epic Abbot raid. It says Resistance 10, Vitality 44, Insightful Sheltering. That's both in PRR and MRR Insightful. Intimidate 25, it is the highest Intimidate item in the game. The Insight doesn't do really anything because that's just generating extra hate from melee damage. It bugs me as someone who likes to play hybrid caster tanks that all your Insight stuff is just for like melee threat. And I really wish that just Insight was for all damage that you do and not just melee damage. It's very frustrating. I guess maybe I should just do what everybody else is doing. Just make a regular tank. Alright, so let's see. I also have the Lantern Ring that comes out of Haunted Halls of Evening Star. This has a Radiant Glory effect. It is upgraded to get that to 3d8 or 3 to 18 damage. When it's not upgraded, I think it just does 2 to 12. It also has big Radiance lore in there, big Radiance. Insightful Wisdom 2 is no help here, really. I guess it gives me +1 more to my will saves. Diamond of Constitution 11. So I had a Con 9, Insightful Con 4 crafted ring before, so I'm actually down 3. 2. Down a couple Constitution. No big deal. At this level range, I'm not doing high difficulty stuff anyways. And we also have the Mage Star, which I mentioned this in the last episode, or one of the recent episodes, that this is one of my choice spell absorption items. I recommend 3 spell absorption items for endgame play, and my favorites are the Mage Star, the Epic Elite Jeweled Cloak, and the Pale Lavender Iron Stone. The Mage Star also comes out of Haunted Halls of Evening Star. And I wish I could do a video for you of that one to show you how that one works. I actually don't know it that well. I farmed it a little bit back in the day. That was our first Classic module that came out, I don't know, like 8 years ago or something. And I never really learned it that well. And since those early days, I've barely run it. Okay. Nothing else to mention on the gear side. I was thinking about doing Maze of Madness and Trial by Fire for this episode because I wanted to talk about farming out the Jeweled Cloak, but I did those in Heroic, and the epic versions of those, they're the same. The quests play out exactly the same. They're just scaled for epics. No big whoop. Alright, what about my Destiny? Oh, I got some points to spend. A lot of them. So I'm up here in tier 4 now. And I got the 15 bonus to armor class. Increases absorption of the mantle. Now I have the Knight's Throw the Boom upgrade to Knight's Challenge. This makes it an AoE effect and it has a stunning effect. And I do have a stunning augment to help out with that at endgame, but I don't have that as part of my gear set yet. And here I get +5 PRR. Unfortunately, it has a better effect if you have the Bulwark of Defense feat. Unfortunately, we can't use that because I believe that it has, like, it increases the cooldown of spells or something like that. Or no, when in a defensive stance. Okay, and that's just not going to work for us because all the defensive stances that we could have available to us, they just increase the cooldown of spells. So I'm not aware, at least, of any defensive stance that would work with this build. And unfortunately, like, I really wish that, like, Celestial Spirit or something would count for defensive stance, but it doesn't. Or even the Mantle. It would be really nice if this Mantle counted as a defensive stance, but it doesn't. Because that's honestly a feat that I might like to take. +2 to saves, +4 to armor class. I won't be taking anything more in tier 4. It's possible I could take this just for the bonus to hit points if I have some extra points left over. Let's see. Since I have a bunch of extra points, let's just go ahead and take some evocation DCs. Again, that'll help pack damage. And, we'll be respecing this later. Let's see. And we'll go ahead and take conjuration DCs because that'll affect the tentacles. We'll get some more bonuses to will saves. And just to spend the points, we'll be respecing once we have access to tier 5 at level 30. Reaper points. Oh, I can get tier 5 now. So we'll just go ahead and get all of that stuff. Even though I'm not going to be doing Reaper questing. I did not notice until somebody brought it to my attention pretty recently is that this saves bonus up here in tier 5 is not connected to the save bonuses down here. So while you are locked into a choice here, whatever you choose in tier 1, you're locked into that choice. I chose reflex. So you got to choose reflex in tier 2 and tier 3. I do not like that design, but that's what it is. But this one is not. I could choose a different one if I wanted to. If I want to choose some fortitude saves, I could. Or will saves, for example. Alright, so we have tier 5 fully maxed out. That requires 153 Reaper points, and then totally maxing them out at level 30 with the final cores in each tree. I haven't gotten any new favor rewards since the last time. Actually, I could have gotten Harper tier 1. I should have picked that up, but I didn't. Okay, at level 27, my feat was epic damage reduction. That gives me 10 PRR. And there's the character sheet. Alright, so I already made an earlier epic leveling video talking about acquiring tokens of the 12. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about acquiring greater tokens of the 12. Greater tokens of the 12 only come from 3 sources, all old school raids. One of them is Epic Demon Queen, the raid I'm about to do. The other one is Epic Chronoscope, which we're going to do that as well. And then the third one is Epic Von 6, Vault of Night. That's going to require a group for it. But what I want to express in this video, or what I want to demonstrate in this video, is that the Demon Queen raid and Chronoscope raids are very soloable. So if you're in need of greater tokens of 12 because you want to make your Master's Gift augment, or you want to upgrade an epic item that came from a raid that you can solo a raid like this, get your greater token of 12. And then, after I get done doing this, I just transferred my Hardcore 6 tune over to Sarlona, the first lifer. It is level 27. So we're going to solo it on that one to compare the class and race completionist and epic completionist to the first lifer performance. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so we're going to do Zawabi's Revenge. That's the proper name of the Demon Queen raid. We're just going to do it on Elite. Now, this is something, I just did this a couple days ago on DDO stream. I was like level 22 or 23. And I struggled with R1. I got the Demon Queen down to half, and I was just like, yeah, I was out of resources. I didn't want to drink pots, so I just DDO'd out and went back in on Elite. And even that took a lot longer than I thought it was going to. But if memory serves, that happened to me before, and when I was a little bit higher level, it was much, much easier. Got it done on Elite at 22 or 23 or whatever it was, but it was kind of slow. Surprisingly slow. It may be the case that when if you're doing this, if you're new to soloing this raid, I would say just go in here on heroic the first time, just so you're comfortable. It's a very simplistic raid. It's just a single hallway and a room. It's not, a complicated raid. It's a very, very simple raid. In fact, it's, the pre-raid, which is just a quest called Against the Demon Queen, is more convoluted than this one is. All we're doing here is just fighting our way through a few waves of Ifrits, Mephits. There's going to be some fire elementals at the end, but we can actually just run right by those. If you're doing this with more people, don't run ahead. Don't get started before they step in, because the gates that are coming up will actually close after a few minutes. So you could lock people out. So wait for everybody to get in before you get started. Oh, another quest that I did was Memory Lapse in the 12 for some 12 favor. It's a base 23, I think. Might have been 22, something like that. Gates haven't started closing yet, but they will any second. So we got some fire elementals coming up here. Just run right by them, click on the portal. You can shrine if you want to in this next room. I'm going to go ahead and do that to get my mana back just in case. Here we do have a couple of collectibles that we can get. If you ever fall, there's a safe spot. You don't have to fall into the lava. There will be Ifrits that spawn here, so you don't have time to linger. There's also another collectible over here and another safe spot. Love my collectibles. Must have. And then the raid will get started once you talk to Layla. She's going to port away to one of the outer platforms. And you have to beat her down to... you have to beat her down about 5% of her damage, of her health. And then she will port to the middle. As I said, if you haven't done this before, you might just want to do it on heroic difficulty your first time. Just so you're comfortable with being in here and, you know, understanding how it works. Do it on heroic, you're going to smoke it. You know what I'm saying? Do it over level. You know, take your level 30 in there or level 32 or whatever. If you've literally never done it before. You see, I don't want you to be intimidated by the fact that, you know, this is a raid. So a lot of people are intimidated just by that raid label. And they think, I'm not a raider, so I can't possibly do that. But I want you to realize that you can solo this. This raid was designed like 14 years ago or something, in a very different time in DDO history. You know, level cap was... Well, when this was the first epic pack. The first pack to be epified, actually. And, you know, level cap was 20. It was just a different time in DDO. It wasn't designed for where the power curve is today. So she's getting some hits on me. But we can easily heal ourselves with Renewal, Healing Pillar, and the Mass Cure Moderate SLA. And then we also have Shining Through to give us plenty of temporary hit points. And then our Aura is giving us temporary hit points every 2 seconds as well. She's actually hitting us more. Well, it's not just her, it's these archers up here as well. So based on performance here, you know, I'm skeptical if the First Lifer can do it at 27. No doubt that the First Lifer could do it if it was 32 and, you know, even modestly geared up. You know, 27 I'm going to try to bring here that I just transferred over from Hardcore 6. You know, it has, you know, mostly level 5 Feywild gear on. So she's going to periodically port back out to the outer platforms, and it's just a timed thing. You don't have to do a set amount of damage to her like you did the first time to bring her back. She's just going to go back and forth. She ports back and forth. She's going to spawn these elite guard. Now, let's say you're on a different tune, maybe a range build or a more traditional caster. You can always kite her if you want. You're going to, you know, need to be pretty quick and make sure that you stay out of her range. But you could just run around in a circle. And I'll show you what I mean. That loud crashing noise, by the way, is the You've Got My Back shield effect blocking magic missiles. So you can just run backwards and just kite her. If those archers are giving you a hard time, you can range them down too. They will respawn though. If you cast while you're in the air, it won't slow you down. But if you try to heal yourself while you're on the ground, you know, you do slow down when you're casting and moving. But if you're in the air and you're jump casting, it doesn't slow you down. So if you feel more comfortable, you can just kite her around like this. As long as you have a decent movement speed, she's not going to catch it, although there are some hamstring effects in here, and that can slow you down. It might make it a little scary for you. I guess that would be an incentive to take out the archers, because they're the ones hamstringing you. Now, this would be much faster if I were at level cap. I just wanted to show you that it can be done, you know, at a lower level if you want. Go ahead and switch to Aura. My Tainted Spellcasting, Tentacles, Arcane Tempest, helps chew down the Ifrits. Heal myself, Shining Through. And if the first lifer struggles with doing it on Elite, I'll just do a lower difficulty. Because if you can't get it done on Epic Elite, that's okay. Do it on Epic Hard, do it on Epic Normal. You know, once you're comfortable with being in here, you know, do it on Heroic your first time if you want to. Or just do it on Epic Normal your first time. You know, and again, wait till you're level 32. If you want. But it's really good to know and to be capable of getting those greater tokens of the 12 on your own. Like I said, there's only 3 sources, and the truth is you're probably not going to find a group for a raid like this. It's so old, and there's just, you know, not a lot of interest in it. And you're probably not going to find a group for Chronoscope either, maybe once in a while. Von 5.6 still remains a very popular raid, though. Great one to get to learn if you don't know how to do it. I got a teaching raid video for it, as I do for every raid in the game. You can watch that and you'll know exactly what to do. Yeah, I'm really skeptical that the first lifer is going to be able to handle this. On Elite. 27. And she disappears just as I cast my Arcane Tempest. Once she gets down to, oh, I don't know, maybe 10% health, she goes to war. You hear a thunderclap, and she says, I am war, I am destruction. Blah, blah, blah. And she's going to attack like twice as fast and hit harder. She moves faster. You want to make sure you're prepared for that. You know, have enough resources to get you through, whether that's healing resources or DPS resources, defensive resources. back in the center. Should be going to war here any minute. There she goes. And she's not going to teleport away at this point. She's just going to stay until she dies, or until you die. Keep getting the tumble symbol and above my head, and I keep hearing the sound. I don't even know what that's from. That didn't used to happen, so I'm just guessing it's something from the new Epic Destinies. And I'm not even sure what exactly is happening. I can't emphasize enough that if you're newer to this game, or you're newer to soloing, you know, or newer to raiding or something, I'm not trying to tell you need to come in here at 27 and do this on Epic Elite. Like I said, I just want you to realize that it can be done, but you should start on lower difficulties and work your way up. If you've never done this before, and you try to come in here at level 27 on Epic Elite, you might get wrecked. Baby steps. One more Arcane Tempest should finish her off. And there we go. How long did that take us? 17 minutes. Jeez, oh Pete. Higher level, you can do it in just a few minutes. Or on a higher DPS too, and you can do it really fast. I mean, you can literally come in here and get this raid done in just literally 2 or 3 minutes. All right. Now, let's try it on the first lifer. Alright, here I am on the first lifer, and I had to go get some supplies because I tossed a lot of the vendor stuff away, like potions and scrolls and stuff like that, to transfer. I literally just transferred it over. I had to reload a bunch of stuff back up on my hotbars too, because my enhancement tree was respect, because when I was playing over on hardcore, they hadn't made the change yet to spiritual retribution to turn that into a imbue, so that's something that has to be toggled on. Let's see, we'll just go ahead and show you the Epic Destinies. This is as far as I could get them. I do have Primal Avatar going here instead. I don't need the Draconic Incarnation. I'm not a shifter on this tune. I chose Human for my hardcore life. And I'm also not Fey Pact. I chose the Celestial Pact because I thought the buffs might be more helpful for a hardcore environment. Alright, I have no idea how this is going to go. But I am level 27, just like my main. We'll see what happens. And if we can't do it on Elite, we'll try it on hard. But I thought it'd be interesting to just show the difference. I'm curious myself. I've never taken a first life version of this build into this raid before. Some things in a different spot on this character versus my main. I had Arcane Tempest and a different hotkey. buff potion because I can. Because I have them. This is going to be slow going if I can even stand up to the Demon Queen at all. Just showing you I'm wearing all really low level gear. That epic voice of the master. Yep. I think the weapon I'm using is the same as on Voodu. Yep, Epic Scepter of Radiance. Filigrees on it. And they're all just Constitution filigrees. Oh, no, it's 3 filigrees. The ship buffs that I have, by the way, are just the ones that I brought over from Hardcore, so I'm not even using, you know, my guild ship buffs, which would have been a little bit better. See, the gates are starting to close on me on this time. It's taking longer to beat these guys down. Alright, run past the fire alleys. I definitely need to try and use up my whole blue bar on that. Where is she? There she is. My blasts look different because I'm Celestial Pact. she's gonna be immune to my pack damage because it's electric. She's a demon, and demons are immune to electricity. So yeah, this is gonna be so slow. You wouldn't have been immune to, you know, my main Voodoo's pack damage because it's Faye's sonic damage. I still want to at least take it to where she comes in, and then maybe we'll step out and try it on hard. I didn't even think about the pack damage until I just noticed that she wasn't taking any. Alright, see if we can stand up to her, take some hits. And I would say the answer is definitely yes. So, if you were with some friends, say you had a buddy or two that were joining you, you would know that you could tank her. On a first lifer at level 27. That is tremendously undergeared. Definitely getting some hits on me. You know, I'm gonna have to staunch up here. Jack. Got them archers. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to D-door out. And we're going to try to get on hard. See how the first lifer does on hard. I'm not even going to worry about getting my mana back because I'll be able to use the shrine. And I'm confident with the mana I got that I'll be able to get to the shrine on hard difficulty. Well, the fruits certainly go down a lot faster on hard. Like he wasn't even taking damage from my burst there. Sometimes you get weird interactions, like when you're on the edge of something. He was like, just in the lava, and I was like at the edge of the platform. So sometimes you see things, not taking damage where you think they should. It's just good to watch for that kind of stuff. I remember when we were doing this on hard as like a full guild group many years ago. Speaks to where the power curve is today. Of course, the level cap would have only been 25 back then. Well, she's still going to be immune to my pack damage, but she won't be as tough. She won't have as many hit points. So hopefully this is reasonable. Man, those archers are still tearing me up. Again, I'm not doing any pack damage to her because she's immune to electric and I'm celestial on this. So if I were a different pack where she was taking damage from any other pack, this would definitely be going faster. I do have a few mana pots, a 5-stack left over from hardcore, so if I have to, I can dig into those. Hopefully I won't have to. Yeah, even this tune is doing that, getting that tumble thing over the head. I don't know what that's supposed to be. If you know, make a comment. As I said, I've never played a first life version of my own build in this raid on Epic before, so this is a brand new experience for me. This is a learning moment for me. Well, it's slow, but I think I'm going to tough it out. Get the completion. Take it all the way to the end. Take it till she goes to war. See how we hold up then. Switching to Focus Blast while she's on the outer platform. I picked up Maximize and Empower on those two. Yes. I do have Maximize and Empower. That's my Celestial Pact. Arcane Tempest with the Tainted Spellcasting Burst. Since I'm human, I do have the defensive action boost that I can use when she goes to war. I think that gives me like, what, 15 PRR. 10 action boost to armor class and PRR for 20 seconds. Tune, of course, has one Reaper point. I don't know why this tune has one Reaper point. I don't remember doing any Reaper questing in hardcore. Apparently, I did enough to have 2,000 Reaper XP. Oh, she disappeared right as I did my Arcane Tempest. I'm gonna have to be careful about using that now. I really need to save what little bit of mana I have left for heals. I mean, I can dip into those mana pots if I want to, but let's try not to. Okay, she's going to war. The exciting part. Go ahead and hit my action boost. Give me some more armor class and PRR. What the hell? Alright. Just enough mana left, I think, for an Arcane Tempest. Maybe that'll finish her off. Hope so, because now I'm out of mana. Well, that was awesome to be able to demonstrate and to see for myself. Look at that, a first lifer at level 27, soloing it on Epic Hard. You know, like I said before, all my content is not look what I can do, it's look what you can do. So if you have never soloed this raid before, if you're sitting there thinking, oh, you can never have greater tokens of the 12 because you're not a raider, or maybe your gear isn't that great. I mean, look at me. I'm running, like a ton of like low B stuff, level 5 Feywild gear and stuff, some craftables that I was able to get, high enough level on hardcore in just the month that I was playing there to craft some really cool things. Level 5 Crown of Snow, the Epic Voice of the Master is the highest level piece of gear that I have, along with the Epic Scepter of Radiance, both very easy to acquire. So there you have it. I'm stoked. And no doubt, if you're level 32, and you're a different pact, so you're doing pack damage to her, and you have better gear, no doubt you could come in here on Epic Elite and solo it, even on the first lifer.